Hello guys, gals, and anything in between. Welcome back to Lethal Ethan07. This video has been requested for a little while, so I figured with the return of my channel, why not start with this video. In this video, I will be ranking every Merciless boss in Battle Cats from easiest to hardest. Keep in mind that this is just my opinion. And one more thing to say before I start, I will not be including Aku Hanya or the Possessed Empress. I have not fought either of them yet, and it'd be kinda stupid to include them on this list if I haven't fought them, because I'd have no idea how hard they really are. In reality, I don't think I will make a remake of this list because, based on what I've seen, I don't think I'm beating them anytime soon. I'm not going to remake this list until I beat the two of them, and that's going to be a very, very long time, and I'm probably going to give up on Battle Cats before then. So, let's get to the list. And for the absolute easiest Merciless boss, we have Doremi. When the mini-boss in the level poses more of a threat than the boss itself. That's the kind of boss Doremi is. The alpaca that spawns before you fight her is much, much harder than Doremi herself. All you need to do to beat this boss is just lure her to your base and then spawn Awakened Bahamut at the right time. Then you can just cheese Doremi by constantly knocking her back due to Awakened Bahamut's attacks. This stage is basically a free cat if you know what you're doing. I mean, to be fair, the cat that you do get for beating this stage is absolutely terrible. So I guess a really easy boss grants you with a terrible cat. But what's the point of making this a Merciless boss? This is just something I don't really understand. I beat this on my second try. The only reason I died to this is because I had no idea what I was doing the first time, and the trolley bloggers kinda screwed up my Awakened Bahamut strategy. But the second time it worked. I just didn't time it right the first time. But this boss is ridiculously easy. And coming in at second easiest, we have Puffsley's Comet. This boss is, again, another one of those Merciless bosses where I'm questioning why it's Merciless. This boss would have made more sense as a deadly boss, but whatever. Puffsley himself is a joke. The only thing you need to worry about is his massive damage, but he doesn't attack very often, so I think you should be fine. What you should worry about in this stage are the Star Pangs. The Star Pangs can stack up if you don't have a good enough horde to protect against them, and can plow through your meat shields, either warping them or killing them, leaving Puffsley with a straight path to annihilate your base. I suggest either using Chillcat or Seafarer to deal with them, but again, there's always a chance that that could fail. I mean, there are other peons that spawn with Puffsley, but they kind of feel like filler units. They don't really do much. They can even help you by warping your cats. This can either make units with a slow attack rate attack again, or they can even teleport you out of Puffsley's attack, protecting your cats. The only reason that this is harder than Doremi is because you can't just cheese it with one unit. Well, you probably can, but it would be much, much more difficult. In sixth place, we have Queen V. I didn't think it was possible to hate the Anteater with a submachine gun for a tongue more than I already do, but here we are. This is the last Merciless stage that is relatively easy. Queen V herself, similar to Puffsley, is not the main threat of the level. She's simply support. Do you want to know who is the main threat of the level? Professor A. I'd be willing to bet that Queen V is much, much easier than her alien counterpart on her own. While her alien counterpart can slow, this one only does curse, which is a pretty useless ability in my opinion, and if it weren't for the Professor A, this level would have probably been the easiest Merciless stage. Once you get into Queen V's blind spot and finally avoid her attacks, Professor A will just push you right back into that attack zone. Thank you. Very helpful. This level was much more annoying than hard, admittedly, because of Professor A. This stage wasn't too hard. Again, it's just very lengthy because of that Anteater. Professor A, I'm sure the only thing your mother hates more than you is an empty beer bottle. Honestly, now I'm tempted just to make an hour-long video dedicated entirely to shitting on Professor A. I hate this guy so much. And just killing him is probably the most satisfying moment in Battle Cats, to be honest. And in fifth place, we have Everlord Wanwan. For the most part, the Everlord stays the same as his normal counterpart. The only problem is he can permanently warp your cats if he gets to attack them. This isn't a guaranteed thing, so you don't need to worry. The only problem is he attacks 3 consecutive times, so that means there's a good chance a lot of your cats will be warped permanently. That's why you need warp blockers to deal with him. Good thing I have quite a few warp blockers on my team, so fighting this guy really wasn't much of a hassle for me. The only problem were the peons he came with. The Cappies and the Relic Squirrels can get annoying after a little while. The Metal Crocodiles especially. Seafarer made the Everlord himself very easy. However, the peons did definitely take care of the Seafarer. A little too well. So that's why the Everlord is a bit higher than our other 3 picks. In fourth place, we have Zionel. Initially, I was shocked by Zionel's difficulty. I thought she'd be much, much harder than her Angel counterpart, but the Angel version is about twice as hard for me. Mainly out of fear, this is one of the last Merciless bosses I attempted, but I ended up beating her fairly quickly. Dreadnought really helps at this level. The only problem is ZNL's range. She can sometimes snipe Dreadnought before he can get in, and that can lead to Dreadnought getting permafrozen. ZNL herself has surprisingly low health for a zombie enemy, although this does make sense, because she can revive an infinite amount of times if you don't kill her with a zombie killer. And the worst part, there are multiple ZNLs. That's what puts her higher than the rest of our lower ranking Merciless bosses, the fact that there are multiple ZNLs to fight. But all in all, I'd rather fight ZNL any day over our next 3 picks, which we're going to get to right now. For our third hardest boss, we have Heavenly Herald Papu. Remember in my Deadly Bosses video when I said I hated angel enemies? And do you also remember when I said I hated Dabu the Dead? So when I heard that this was a Merciless boss, I wasn't too excited to fight them, but I decided to man up and play the stage. And oh boy, I didn't attempt this again for another few months. Ramen Cat was rendered completely useless because of the toxic attacks, and that is easily the worst part about Heavenly Herald Papu. Her toxic attacks can deplete your cat's health by not normal damage, but percentage damage. So it doesn't really matter how much health your cat has, they're only gonna die in a couple hits. The more health they have, the faster they'll die. The peons aren't even worth mentioning because they are nowhere near as hard as Papu herself. I think Awakened Bahamut was my saving grace, pun intended, for this level. Awakened Bahamut and Kalisa, that is. I recently got Kalisa, so I upgraded her fairly quickly. I'm gonna get her true form very soon as of recording this, but when I fought Papu, I did not have her true form yet. Despite not having her true form, Kalisa really helped with this level. Her increased damage against angels definitely helped with this level. I think Kalisa will finally be my way out of angel enemies being so difficult. But then again, people get mad at you for uber carry. But again, if no one's watching, then you can uber carry to your heart's content. And for our second hardest boss, we have Black Okam. I was so tempted to put Black Okam in first place, just because of how much I absolutely hate him. I'd rather fight Hanya any day than have to fight Blackface Slappy again. This guy has incredible range. Not only that, but he can knock back all your units and deal heavy damage. Hanya didn't have that much damage, well, yeah, pretty high damage, but the main point of Hanya was that he weakened your units. This guy knocks them back and deals incredible damage, but the worst part, his incredibly fast attack rate. ICAT won't save you, Thunderbolt probably won't do much, Awakened Bahamut is entirely useless, so it looks like you're gonna have to rely on chip damage. Or, after all, that's what I did. Probably why it took me like an hour or two to beat this level. It took me so long to beat this level, so many attempts, and the time I actually did beat it, it took me an hour or two, as I mentioned earlier. The peons make this fight even more annoying than it should, but Black Okam is still not harder than our first pick. And who is that first pick? Let's find out. And the hardest Merciless boss in my opinion is none other than Kappa freaking Jr. Kappa Jr. is such a unit that he doesn't even need any peons. He could just be on his own and he'd be just as much of a threat. He can push all by himself using his powerful surge attacks. Considering I have absolutely no units that can resist surge, and to this day I still don't. And yes, before you say anything, I do know you can cheese this stage. That's how I ended up beating it. This guy was so hard that I choose to nope out of the fight itself and just choose to cheese it instead. I usually like to play things fair when it comes to bosses. I want to fight the boss itself, but this guy was so difficult, and he kept beating me with his Cucumber of Death, and yes, I said that in an actual sentence, I had to use the cheese to get out of it. Considering I have a habit of just carrying every single traitless boss at Darktanian, having a traitless boss where I couldn't use Darktanian did prove to be a challenge. I tried to find ways around it, use super rares, use rares, hell, even try other Ubers, nothing worked. So I ended up having to cheese this guy. Yeah, shame me if you want, but I could not beat Kappa Jr. I'm an Uncanny Legends player, and I did not actually beat Kappa Jr. Kappa Jr. is definitely the hardest Merciless boss, and possibly the hardest boss in Battle Cats. That I actually have a chance at beating, because, you know, Possessed Empress and Aku Hanya, I have no chance against considering I have no shield piercers. But, with that, that is going to have to be the end of this video. I do have a couple more things I want to say before I leave you all to do whatever you were doing before you got this notification. If you don't really care about my channel, or you're not really planning to watch any of my content ever again, then I give you permission to leave. But if you are interested in this channel, and especially if you are subscribed, then I suggest just sticking around to hear what I have to say. I'm not forcing you, you can leave if you want to, but I do have to say something that's pretty important. And also, before I begin, I just want to say I'm sorry if I stutter or, you know, stop talking for a little bit. This part of the video is completely unscripted. I'm just speaking from the heart. So again, sorry if I start stuttering. I just want to say that, no, I did not forget about this YouTube channel. I know my upload schedule has been kind of slow lately. I'm not sure if I'm going to be changing that. I do like to take my time with my videos, because I want to make the best possible experience for my viewers. But at the same time, I do have other things to do. I am currently writing a book, and I'm working on a mod for a certain visual novel. And if you're paying attention to the About section of my channel, you'll probably know exactly what that visual novel is very quickly. I do plan to make one more Battlecats video before I get to the YouTube Iceberg Part 3. Sorry if the production of YouTube Iceberg Part 3 takes significantly longer than the rest of my videos. The YouTube Iceberg videos are kind of hard to make. What am I talking about? Very hard to make. And, you know, I kind of get lazy. I just kind of forget to make it for a couple days, and then I remember suddenly, and then I go on a working spree, and then I don't really feel too good after that. I'm not trying to, you know, give an America's Got Talent sob story. I'm not asking for your pity. I'm just kind of stating what goes on behind the channel. Yeah, I know that's on me for procrastinating. I'm not saying it's your fault. I know it is my fault. But again, I do have lots of responsibilities right now. I'm not going to say I'm a busy person, because I'm not, but I do have a lot of projects I'm working on, so it does take a while for me to actually get to my channel and then start uploading a video. But I'm trying to put as much care and love into the videos I make as I possibly can. So sorry if that means that I do have to take a little longer with the process of making the video. And here's one more thing I want to talk about on my channel. I am probably not going to be making any more Friday Night Funkin' related content. I don't know, I just kind of feel like I'm not really into the game anymore, and the fanbase has definitely drawn me away. So, I figured, why not go out with a bang? I'd give out my opinions on my favorite mods of Friday Night Funkin', and I'd be collaborating with a good friend of mine to do that. His name is PlainDev. If you've been a fan of this channel, you'll probably know who he is. So basically, I'll say my top 5 favorite mods in all of Friday Night Funkin', and he'll say his favorite Friday Night Funkin' mods of all time. I know he's much more into FNF than me, so he'll probably be much more passionate with his list than me, but that's just makes it all the more interesting to hear. So yeah, that'll probably be my last Friday Night Funkin' video. The FNF Awards series is probably going to be cancelled, so sorry about that. So if you are subscribed to my channel only for my Friday Night Funkin' content, then I suggest unsubscribing after that video comes out, because I am probably not going to be making another FNF video unless something really drastic happens in the community and I get a good idea for a video. So yeah, that's probably going to be it for my Friday Night Funkin' content. I think I'm just going to focus on Battlecats, the YouTube Iceberg, maybe some internet mysteries, Doki Doki Literature Club, Minecraft, games like that. So basically what I'm going to be saying is I'm only going to focus on games I really, really like. So yeah. With that, I do have one final thing to say. If you're a fan of my channel, you'll know this as an absolute fact. My channel is an absolute mess. But this whole channel is basically me just throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks. If you'd like to see a more organized version of my channel, then I suggest going to the playlist section of my channel. There you can choose the videos that you like without having to sift through all the garbage on my channel just to find what you like. You can go to playlists, and you can see exactly what I have set up, and you can use content that is catered towards you. And that should be perfect for me, since I can make content that I enjoy, and I can also make content that you enjoy. This channel, again, is just something for you to listen to while you do something in the background. That's why I tend to have very little background footage, because my videos aren't really intended for you to watch, they're rather intended for you to listen to. If I do want you to watch something, then I will say it, but for the most part, this is just a channel for you to listen to. Basically, use me as background noise. Okay, rant over. With that, I'm gonna have to say that this is the end of the video. Thank you for sticking around if you did. Of course, the people who I thank for being a longtime supporter of my channel are in the description, so feel free to check them out if you want. Have a great day, night, or afternoon.